Hey guys, this is SETI Mania. Okay, I'm here to do the review for ispeeddate. And for any of you who follow me on Twitter, you you know I kind of had a little meltdown afterwards, but I'm good now. So, anyways, God, this episode it was good. It was a good episode. I hated the one thing I hated about this episode was the way that Sam got treated. I mean, she didn't get a date. I mean, at first when Gibby turned her down, I'm like, wow, Gibby's got some guts. There's another word I'd say, but I'm not gonna say it on camera. Um, but it surprised me when he turned her down, and I think she was kind of surprised herself. Like, nobody turns me down. And then she ended up going to his house, and he ended up having a girl there, which kind of like was like, wow, a girl. That's amazing. But anyways, I'm like, go Gibby. Yeah. It's like real good. But anyways, that's not the point. This episode was about Carly finding a date, and she asked out this guy at first, but he didn't. He didn't end up going with her. He went with someone else, Rebecca Berkowitz, I think, which is like some mysterious girl we've never seen. But anyways, this episode it was good. There are a lot of things I want to mention. Dan Moore put in the fun facts on Twitter about Freddy's shirt, saying special something, and in the first scene we couldn't quite read it because it was covered up by his book bag strap, so we don't know if it was Sam or Ham, but later on we found out it was Ham, so I just wanted to mention that. It would have been so cool if it was Sam, but anyways, the first scene, opening scene with Freddy telling the girls he had two girls ask him, I was like, alright, Freddy. And then this weird girl came up to him, the magician girl, or she was all creepy, kind of. I mean, she was great at magic, but she kind of was creepy. But anyways, she kind of scared Freddy a bit, but yeah, impressed her with the magic. That was for sure. That would impress me too. But anyways, so at the web show, which they did for the first time, we saw Pathetic Plays, Fluffy and Pizza with Gibby. That's a classic play on iCarly.com. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's really good. And it's the first time also that Carly was doing the little camera, so that was good. But then when they were done with that, and Sam pulled that little trick on Carly and hooked her to the chair and taped her mouth shut, she's like, "All right, who?" And she set up the whole thing about any available boys want to date Carly, and they ended up having like hundreds of guys at the Groovy Smoothie. And they were all like, wow, I can't believe this. All these guys want to date me. And it's like crazy. And it's just so funny. I'm like, it was like crazy. But yeah, I'm sorry I'm being kind of random here, but I'm just still kind of getting over this episode, you know. It's hard to fathom all this stuff in my mind. But anyways, so they went to commercials, and when they came back, Freddy came up with the whole speed dating thing. And they decided to do that, so they split up, and Freddy took them, and then Spencer, and Carly, and then Sam. And Sam was kind of, she just talked about how Gibby turned her down to all of them. They never really got to speak, and Carly, well, I don't know what Carly really did, but Freddy's like, wow. Freddy got interviewed some weird guys. But anyways, and Spencer, Spencer. I gotta talk about Spencer doing the exercise through the whole show. It was funny, especially when Freddy came downstairs and he was flinging his arms all over the place and just whacked Freddy in the head. That was great. That was funny. Poor Freddy, but then they all were doing it, and Freddy's still laying on the floor back there like no one notices. And yes, I see you. And I'm like, God, I don't even know how to say it. But the episode it was good. There's a lot more I want to talk about, so let me just move on before I run out of time. After finally find a guy she liked, the whole speed dating thing, and he came to our house to get her. She was all fantastic in that dress, and Yes, I see you. Yes, you're in the camera shot too. Get down, get down. Hey, sorry, it's my cat. You know him, Flopsy. Big, big thing on Twitter. Anyways, no, not really. So anyway, she found a guy she liked, and she ended up going to the dance with him, and Freddie ended up going with the magician girl because the other two girls, he waited too long to ask them. Poor Freddie, he actually had two girls ask him, and then he never responded, and they got their dates of their own, so that left him with the magician girl. But anyways, we don't really see the dance, but we see them later on at the Groovy Smoothies. But while the dance is going on, apparently we see Sam go to Gibby's house, which you've never seen before. And if you notice the little mailbox, it said the Gibsons, yeah. But we see his neighborhood, and it looks pretty good. It's pretty cool. And then we go, and Gibby comes to the door when she rings the bell, and she's like, "Okay, you're gonna take me to the dance," and he's like, "No, I'm good," and I'm like, "Wow, he's doing this again. He must really be brave." And then Sam's kind of like, "Okay, I don't mean to pick on you, but just come on and go with me, please." She's like, "I'm kind of desperate," but anyways, and then this girl comes out behind him, and I'm like, "Go Gibby! Yeah!" I mean, you gotta admit that girl was very hot. But, and Sam's like, "Who's you?" And she's like, because the girl's like, "Who's this?" And Sam's like, "Who's you?" And then Gibby tells her to go back inside, and Sam's like, "You have a date?" And she peeks herself in the house like, "Who would date you?" or something. It's just something, what's wrong with her? And she's like, and Gibby's like, "Nothing." And then Sam's kind of like, why is she dating you? And Gibby's like, "Well, it was a girls only dance. It was girls asking the guys, and she didn't go to the school, so Gibby's having a date there." And I'm like, and then the girl comes back to the door, and she's like, "Your mom made us strawberries and whipped cream," and I'm like, oh boy. Gibby, yeah, go Gibby. It's just crazy. And oh god, I'm about to run out of time. Well, not quite, but anyways, so Sam kind of leaves, and we see her leave Gibby's house, and I'm kind of sad with that. But anyways, because she's kind of like, okay. And anyways, then we head to the Groovy Smoothie, and we see Carly and Freddie sitting there with their dates, and Carly's date is a non-talking, just a continuous talker. He never even lets Carly get a sentence out, which I think is really rude. And Carly finally just tells him to get out, and he runs off. But before that happens, Freddie's date does magic on him and ends up making the smoothie turn into fire and shoot up out of it and singed his hair. And then she ends up leaving in a cloud of smoke when she has to go home, and Freddie's like, "Best trick ever." And then I'm like, yeah, glad she's gone. And then anyways, time's almost up. God. Anyways, but then the end scene, they're both sitting there, and their dates are gone, and so Freddie's like, "Shouldn't we have at least one good dance tonight?" And so he tells Tebow to turn up the music, and they start dancing, and I have to do this. I'm sorry for any of you who are offended out there. But anyways, that just really made me mad, and I've only got like a minute left. Oh god. But I'm just so sorry. That made me really. I was kind of angry that was going on. I was going nuts, but I'm not. I knew it had to happen. I'm just glad they didn't kiss. But the way Freddie held her, it was just really. It was romantic. It was nice, but it just, to me, it was really bad. No, it wasn't bad. It just really hurt. And then the scene that really hurt me was when Sam walked in, and neither of them noticed. It's like they're lost in their own little moment, and Sam's standing right there. It's horrible. It really hurt me. And then she just left. I mean, she had a sucky night. She did. She didn't get a date to the dance. She didn't go to the dance, and she didn't. I'm just sorry. I can't believe it happened. I mean, not even Sam should be treated that way. I'm sorry. It just shouldn't happen. Oh god, I've only got 30 seconds left. Okay, this episode's great. I loved it. There was a Creddy moment there, and we all know it. Hopefully, we Creddy. Dan said that Creddy and Seti would both enjoy it, but that's great. Okay, my video's about to run out, so I've got to go. Oh, and if you wanted to know what that sound effect was, it's this. It's the remote from iCarly. So hey, it's cool. I'll see you later. Rock on, City Warriors. Rock on.